Ja, så fan vad dåligt kunna få en sköld.
Ja, vielleicht schon da! Ich will schon. Umschätze auf das. Hier behauptet ein Verkrank! Bringen Sie mir Pferde ein! Ja, vielleicht schon da! That's all you got? Chew on that! Find the anderen Garden!
Hello everybody, it's the Fury 692 here. Well, I know you're all wondering where the heck is the Ruby vs. General Grievous ending. Still working on it. It is coming out, but it might be in August. Sorry for the delay, but I wanted to make the animation look good, the fighting good, to, give you guys a ooh-ah show to watch and some things in there as well. So, it's gonna take some time, and sorry about the sunlight, I have nothing to fix that right now. But, so I figured since the tanks are almost gone, I won't have enough time to review them because I've been too busy with stop motion animation. So I figured to give you guys a little treat to review another Lego video because I haven't done that in a while. And since, as you can see in the corner, I moved some stuff around so you could see that I like being a tank Lego reviewer and also, well, tanks reviewer and stuff like that. So let's beat around no bush. You already seen the title of this video, so you already know what it is. So here she is, the IS-3 collection thing from Cobi. Now this was a massive amount of the wallet. I mean, we're talking about like nearly 100 and something bucks, 115. So damn, like how expensive is that? Is like as expensive as the E100 right here that I'm touching. Like, but the E100 had 1,500 pieces. This is only 1,000 and something. So, massively looking forward to basically what it is like, what it has in store. And as you can already tell, it's got a lot of pieces. Now, I know there's another set, and I haven't mentioned this before in my other videos. There is an Ultimate Edition version of it where it will come up with more pieces. But I didn't feel like the price was worth it. I mean, I saw it on their website. It was like 250, and it pretty much the other part was like on eBay it was way more expensive. Like we're talking about $400. So it wasn't worth it. What do you get in the Ultimate Edition in that one? Well, you get four more figures of the leaders of the Allies, the little victory stand along with the tank and the commander. I didn't see that being worth it. What do you get out of this? Well, obviously, IS-3. It also comes with a Russian commander and the little things on the bottom. I'm glad they're doing this more now because in the early days, like Legos, like can't see it from here, like the Abram tank I have, they didn't had like the little markings and stuff. And I like to see the little markings because if people ask me, what tank is this? And I know what it is, but then they'll be like, what is it again? Like, yeah, it will be a lot of, what is this? What is this? So I like vehicles that have a description. Sorry, I didn't want to make a mess. See, like, that's the whole collection along with the Gustav cannon in the back. If it's very hard to see it with the sunlight, my apologies for that. But back to getting off topic. So in the back, it sees like we have obviously the little reading here, which is basically service of the Soviet Union to 1945 to the 1980s. If anyone doesn't know the IS-3, which I don't know why you would be getting an IS-3, but whatever, the IS-3 was also in one battle, the Battle of Berlin. I can't confirm it, but there was only a few of them that fought, but they fought against the Tiger 2s, which was the maxed out Tigers, not the actual thing, but the maxed out Tiger 2s with the long 88s, not the short ones, not the 105.5s. There was a couple of them, but they didn't fought against the IS-3s. But anyway, and they were in the victory parade, as obviously what the Ultimate Edition is. It's when they had like a whole bunch of them going down the parade, and this tank gave up so much fear that the Allies had to come up with tanks to deal with it. Which, to me personally, now seeing IS-3s and Soviet tanks in general, yeah, it was probably terrifying, but I think it did play a lot of propaganda, don't you think? Like, yeah, the tank is terrifying in real life, but is it really? Because a lot of their T-34-85s broke down a lot, missing some pieces during the war and all that. But I don't want to give a history collection. That's just my personal belief that I think the IS-3 is overhyped, in my opinion, but that's just me. But I did wanted to get one as a collection and also review it to you guys if you want to see if it's worth it. So on the very top here, it looks like we could pop out the turret, and the turret ring has a little gun port and viewport. That's pretty cool. I mean, just have the turret popped up, and it looks like you can move around in there. And the one thing I love about cobi's design is you can build your engine and stick it in there, and you can also take it out. And also, you could build the inside interior. I like that more a lot, cobi. Like, do some more of this, because I would love to see more tanks where you could just take them open and actually see inside. It's unlike, you know, the Legos that just build the outside interior that, let's just face it, not that good. I mean, let's just say, for model things purposes. So, this is going to be a lot of things to do, so let's just open her up, see what we've got, because that's pretty much it for the tank to look at. Alright, let's dump this out. There we go. Oh. Alrighty. So, it looks like, in total, there's 4 bags. This is the first one I have to open. So it looks like 4 bags out of it. So, pretty hefty stuff. So, let's see the booklet real quick. So, looking on the back of it, like, there's another, like, Tico tank that's probably, like, massive, a lot of pieces to build this. Yeah, 1,200 something down there. Here, I'll try to hold it close so you guys can see it. I have that. Now, I do have one of the Ferdinands, this one, and I can talk about that another time. I didn't do a video on it, but a lot of years along with the other one, I didn't do a video on it because, one, I was, like, bored one day, and I accidentally built it without doing a video. So, that being said, let's open her up, and let's get started. So, onward, comrades. there you have it with the build thing. Oh, by the way, hi. New day. Yeah. After I was done building it, even though it took only like 5 seconds with you guys with the fast editing, it took me an entire day to build this. So, yeah, it's good morning. um, anyway, sorry, off and off track. I do have things to say about this IS3 that I really don't like for people that have to spend that kind of money. Thankfully, I didn't because a friend got it for me. But at the same time, this is a lot of things we have to majorly talk about. But first, like I said, art design looks great. I expect that a lot from Cobi. I mean, Cobi did a well done job making the replica of the IS3 as best they can with Legos, and they do a magnificent job, like I always say with their tanks, making it look exactly the part of an IS3 in real life. So I will give a credit what credit's due about that. I also like the little, can't see it because of the glare. Hang on, there we go. The IS3 writing on there, so now I can put it on the side so it looks like a little tank museum like the rest of them back there. And the Soviet commander, as you can already tell, he's okay looking, perfect looking at the time, actual historical thing. Blue jumpsuit and the hat and the little pistol they carry. Perfect thing of what they did back then. But now the thing I have to talk about is going to piss off a lot of Russians and a lot of communist people that like these tanks. There was a lot of problem with the tanks. I know, right? Oh no, German capitalist pig fucking criticizing a great communist tank. Hear me out, okay, for all those commie boos out there. Just hear me out, because I have to, that is like part of my job being a reviewer. First and foremost, the turret. I don't like the turret that much because even though it's a great design, but there's nothing holding the turret. Like, I can just easily pop it out like that. There's no grip on the turret. So if anyone was playing this heavy tank, like say like a kid or something you get, or any type of thing like that, if it flips on its side, it's gonna, just like that you just saw. So you have to keep this tank firmly flat as possible. Otherwise, it will flip out. You can lose the turret, lose some pieces. Luckily, I will say this about it's sturdy. It's well built. So a lot of the pieces won't be like, broken off it, but it will break off some. So just be mindful of that when you're picking this thing up. And the other problem I have is the engine, the thing to get to the back. Because they say you're supposed to lift that part. Now, if you saw in the clip thing, I was trying to do it really hard, which I'm going to try doing it again. Because you want to know why it's hard? There's no fucking grip. There's no grip. So how are you supposed to pull this out to get to the engine unless you have freaking nails to... God dang it. Ah, suka bleh. Come on. Stop being ballsy. You know what? Here's a better idea. Or not. Come on, get the fuck out of there. I swear, even my blueprint builds are not that cryptic. There we go. Fucking really. Get to the engine. So that's a huge problem when you can't even, when you're struggling to get the engine piece looked at. And that's pretty sad when I have to tear off one of the pieces in order to get to the engine. Ooh, this is like Soviet ingenuity in a nutshell in World War II. The second part, or the other part I do not like, is the engine itself because it is weaker than, dog shit. What do I mean by that? Well, there it goes again. This piece drove me nuts when I was building it because what it is, it's a little piece of Lego that is, hold on to this, if I could get it back on there. Son of a gun. Finally. To hold on like that, it's hold up by it's hold up by a little tiny stick that holds up by the interior of that part. Cobi, I respect you're trying to remake the actual engine of the IS-2, and it does look exactly like it. But come on, you can't give me a longer piece to hold this fucking thing in? Because, my god, it's like, that popping out is ridiculous. And putting it back in, God help me, he's trying to get this piece of thing back in without breaking the son of a bitch, it broke. Really bad and poor design, in my opinion. Okay, let's get this back on here. So what are the other negatives, Fury? Let's just lay it all out, because that was a nightmare. The turret not staying on. Oh, this little pieces on top, they are very loose. So to top it all, the fact that this is not attached to any part, like it easily pops off, meaning that these pieces right here can easily pop off if you don't be careful. And that's, I know they were trying to make the actual design. This is the problem, is this is supposed to be the actual almost design as an IS-3. Like, I love the detail inside the tank, but when you got something this loose and nothing to grip it, and it slides off on the side, chances are it's going to break. And chances are you're going to lose your pieces and completing it to 100%, which sucks, in my opinion. But there's other problems I have with it too. The interior part. Now, there's the problem. Did you saw that? What popped out was the little ammo thing that goes with it. There's little ammo things on the side here, if I could show it best. Let me lean it up. See those golden things in the back in the darkness there? That's where your ammo's hold. A lot of times those pop out. So even though all of them are smooth, this is the only one that keeps popping out, and it's really irritating me. And I have to put it back in like so. And the problem is, like, it's poorly designed when that comes to that. Yeah, and the other part too, the driver's thing, the driver for the IS thing, when you can't even get to the driver's port. Like, you see that cut square in the back, the very back right there where my middle finger's pointing? That's supposed to be the driver's thing. How are you supposed to get to it? Like, I get it. It's supposed to be like a complicated IS-3, but do you have to tear this whole thing, middle front part off just to get to the damn thing? Like, that's horrible design again. Like, I can't even put them in the cockpit. Unlike the Lego E100, this baby right here that I'm touching or pointing at right now has an actual functioning cockpit that I could put people in and drive around and stuff. In that video I did. This, on the other hand, you barely can't even get him in there, which is a huge problem. This is supposed to be the driver's seat, right? So how is this driver supposed to get in there? So, yeah, that sucks, because I was hoping to have him look like he's driving the tank, but unfortunately, it's very, very tiny to fit him in there, so it's not like going to be an easy task. So, and then the very, very, very last problem I have, it's very weak when you start. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, when I started building this, these things that on the side here, the IS-3 skirt armor that they call it, on the very side here, were a pain in the butt to build, because the little flappy, little thin pieces underneath it weren't held by anything that much, so it's just a building problem. It's not the actual build stuff. I won't put that in the review, but it is, like, very flimsy. So if you got big, fat hands like I do, and you put, like, a little pressure on it, the thing will break in the beginning, and then you have to reassemble it again and again. That's just me. Not many people are going to have that experience, but I just wanted to point that out as well. Like, a lot of the building for building the upper tier of the tank was a little floobsy. But in all else, despite the fact of all that, it's not a bad design. I just wish it wasn't this expensive, but I get it. It's because of all the Lego pieces, and I feel bad for my friend spending all that. But at the exact same time, though, So what do I rate this tank, honestly? Like, let's just get down right to it. What do I rate this tank? A perfect IS-3, kind of look-alike design, has 5 major problems. I will say 4, just to count the building part. I will say 4 major problems that every builder and collector is going to have a problem with if they do have this tank, because again, turret easily pops off. The turret underneath it, easily pieces can fly off. Ammunition can fly everywhere. The engine port is very hard to take out unless I'm doing it wrong. Leave in the comments if you have it and you found an easier way to do it. But the engine part to take this out is hard. The engine itself, that one little piece with the circle thing is like, very pops out for me easily. And the interior part was a little bit weak, but that's just because of my fat hands. So what do I say? I say the final verdict for me for the IS-3, the Iron Stalin 3 that they call it, just to give you a little history lesson why it's called the IS. It's Iron Stalin. It's difficult because in one hand it gives you all the pieces, in the other hand there's so many problems. So I'm gonna rate this as a 5 out of 10. I think it is perfect for collectors to keep on the shelf, like I do with the Mouse, the Jagdpanzer 100, the Abrams, the IS-2, and all of them, and also all of them above. And let me tilt the camera up. All of them above, like, yeah, it's great for collection. Now, for playing, for playing this tank, for kids, for using stock motion. Stock motion I could see working okay, but don't let your kids play it. Your kids are going to end up breaking this thing easily, and then that money you give to your kids is going to break. So if you have kids and they want it, just tell them to be really freaking careful with this, even though that's going to be hard to tell that to a kid, especially if they love tanks. But this is not a tank that is designed to be thrown or anything like that, or designed to make hard abuse. It's literally just a model design for animations, for things, for people that know how to handle this type of fragile build. So, that being said, that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been a while since I did a LEGO review, but in the meantime, I'll still work on the Ruby versus General Grievous ending still, and that's going to take some time. It's probably going to be in August some point. But until then, comrades, I hope this video you enjoyed, and I hope it finds it a little interesting if you guys were interested in buying this before you do. So, take care, my comrades, and I will see you across the motherland. Take care, comrades.